Oh boy, I know I haven't made a video in a while, and I've been kind of busy. Got a lot of things going on, but I had to stop and take a second to show my respects to one of the greatest entertainers ever, Michael Jackson. Rest in peace. I know there'll be a lot of people, talking about the stuff with the children and everything, and I kind of believe half, and I kind of don't believe half. But I understand that when people don't understand when the way that you raised affects the way that you are as a man. If you don't believe that, then the allegations and things with the children stuff, that's a good example. But what people tend to lose sight of, not only was Michael Jackson a great entertainer, but he was also a great humanitarian. He always thought of other people, and even though in I guess a twisted way, he's an alleged child molester or whatever they want to call him, but at his heart he had kids in mind, because he knew what it meant to grow up abused, battered, and just because you're privileged and you have money, it doesn't always mean that you're happy. And you could tell that a lot of times, more often than not in his life, that he wasn't happy. But to reflect on Michael Jackson, I go back to growing up. I grew up with the Jackson 5, and my dad, when my sister one year had gotten a record player for Christmas, and one of the records that my dad bought was Michael Jackson Heartbreak Hotel album. I forget the other side, and the Heartbreak Hotel was the B side to I can't even remember what song. But my father always made sure that he exposed me and my sister, well, him and my mother. My mother, she loved Smokey Robinson, so my dad say. And I can remember Saturday nights when my parents, they would make themselves some pina coladas, and and we would just play records. And I remember on that Friday before, my dad would go to Peaches. That was a record store here in Atlanta way back. I know people probably don't remember, but yeah. And he would play records all night long. So, that's what music always meant to me. And when I was first exposed to Michael Jackson, he was like the greatest thing since butter toast. So, I can remember the first time I got a radio for Christmas, and the very first CD that I got, well, not CD, it was a tape player. And I remember the very first tape that I got was Michael Jackson's Thriller. My mom, she's a Jehovah's Witness, and that was like close to one of the last times that we did celebrate Christmas. And at the time, my mom was studying with a lady named Sister Hammond, and I remember that she knew that I kind of liked Michael Jackson and everything, and had gotten that tape. I don't know if it was her really, or if my dad bought it or whatever, but I grew up listening to Michael Jackson. And I can remember me and my friends, we would we'd do the Beat It choreograph, and and we would do the Michael Jackson, Billie Jean, and I can remember always wanting a pink button down. So, what's wrong, Tyson? Yeah, that's my little poochie. But Michael Jackson meant a lot to me, and more than anything, seeing him go makes me realize that my time here on earth is any day now. You know, when you're young, when you're in your 20s, you know, you feel like you have so much in front of you. And, you know, I'm only 38. And it kind of puts you in your place, because he was only 50. You know, and just the mortality and just the realness of, you know, one moment you're here. I mean, just like that, he was gone. So I'm going to say my goodbyes. Michael Jackson, I salute you. One of the greatest entertainers ever. And I just thought I'd just, you know, blog about, you know, my past and what Michael Jackson meant to me, because to me he was a pretty cool guy. I really didn't agree with a lot of the things that happened, you know, in the end. But for the most part, you know, I was and still am a Michael Jackson fan. And people better recognize Michael Jackson now. I know people were like, Tupac, it's like the Black Elvis. No. Michael Jackson is our Black Elvis. Stay safe. Be good to each other.